The year was 2846, and Earth was no more. The once thriving home of humanity now lay in ruins, consumed by the unrelenting might of the Zirid Empire. These biomechanical conquerors swept through the galaxy, assimilating planets and species into their collective. No resistance had ever survived their onslaught. Humanity had been no exception until now. In the debris-choked aftermath of Earth's destruction, remnants of the Terran fleet scattered to the farthest reaches of space. Among them was the Erebus, a stealth-class warship captained by Damian Vance. The Erebus carried the last hope of humanity, Project Starlight, a weapon of unimaginable power. If activated, it could sever the Zirid's hive-mind connection, plunging their empire into chaos. But Project Starlight was incomplete, and the Erebus was hunted relentlessly. Damian stood on the dimly lit bridge of his ship, his sharp features illuminated by the glow of tactical displays. The crew was weary, their numbers thinned by years of skirmishes and sacrifice. "Captain," Lieutenant Arden called out, his voice laced with urgency. "We've detected Zirid patrols closing in. They've found us." Damian's jaw tightened. "All hands to battle stations. Divert power to cloaking systems. We can't let them know what we're carrying." As the Erebus slipped into the shadowy cover of a nearby asteroid field, Damian's mind raced. They couldn't keep running forever. The weapon had to be completed, but that meant reaching Aurora Station, a hidden Terran outpost deep in the Veil Nebula, a place the Zirid would stop at nothing to destroy. The Erebus navigated the treacherous paths of the Veil Nebula, its crew on edge as Zirid ships prowled the surrounding void. Damian knew that the nebula's intense electromagnetic storms offered their only chance at evading detection. "We're running low on fuel," Chief Engineer Rourke reported. "The Corps' not going to handle another jump without a meltdown." "We'll make it," Damian said firmly. "We have to." Hours later, Aurora Station emerged from the swirling clouds, a battered but defiant structure clinging to an asteroid. The station's defenders, remnants of the Terran resistance, greeted the Erebus with suspicion but allowed it to dock after confirming Damian's identity. Inside, the station was a hive of activity. Engineers and scientists worked tirelessly on salvaged equipment, their faces marked by exhaustion and resolve. Damian met with Dr. Elena Cross, the lead scientist behind Project Starlight. "You made it," Elena said, her voice a mix of relief and urgency. "But we're running out of time. The Zirid are closing in. We need the core component you've brought to finish the weapon." "Then let's get to work," Damian replied. As the team labored to integrate the core into Project Starlight, alarms blared across the station. Zirid ships had breached the nebula. "They've found us," Arden said grimly. Damian's voice cut through the rising panic. "Prepare for a fight. If we're going down, we're taking them with us." The Zirid attacked in force, their sleek, insect-like ships swarming the station. Aurora's defenders fought back with everything they had. Automated turrets, salvage fighters, and improvised mines lit up the blackness of space. Damian took command of the defensive effort. Focus fire on their command vessels. Disrupt their coordination. Inside the station, Dr. Cross and her team worked frantically to complete Project Starlight. The weapons activation sequence required immense power, and the station's reactor was pushed to its limits. "Captain," Elena called over the comms. "We're almost ready, but we need more time." "You'll get it," Damian promised. He ordered the Erebus to engage the Zirid fleet directly, drawing their fire away from the station. The ship danced through the chaos, its cloaking system flickering as it unleashed devastating attacks. But the Zirid were relentless. As the battle dragged on, losses mounted, and the station's defenses began to falter. Damian knew they couldn't hold out much longer. With seconds to spare, Project Starlight was ready. The weapon's core pulsed with a brilliant, unstable energy, and its targeting systems locked onto the Zirid Hive fleet. "Captain," Elena said, her voice trembling, "the weapon's power is off the charts. Once it fires, this station won't survive the feedback." Damian nodded grimly. Understood. Begin the countdown. As the station's reactor diverted all energy to the weapon, the Zirid intensified their assault. Boarding parties breached the station, forcing Damien and a small team to hold them off in the control room. "Hold the line!" Damien shouted, firing his plasma rifle at the advancing Zirid. "We're not giving them an inch." The countdown reached 0. The weapon fired, releasing a blinding wave of energy that rippled through space. The Zirid ships convulsed as their hive mind connection shattered, their movements chaotic and uncoordinated. But the cost was immense. Aurora Station's reactor went critical, and the structure began to collapse. "This is it," Damien said, as the station's alarms blared. "All hands, evacuate." The crew and civilians scrambled to escape pods and shuttles as the station broke apart. Damien stayed behind, ensuring Project Starlight systems remain operational until the last possible moment. As the remaining Zirid forces descended into disarray, the Erebus returned to extract Damien and the survivors. The ship narrowly escaped the station's destruction, its engines pushed to the brink. In the aftermath, the Zirid fleet retreated, their hive mind severed. For the first time, humanity had struck a decisive blow against their oppressors. The victory at Aurora Station sent shockwaves across the galaxy. Resistance movements that had been crushed under the Zirid's domination began to rise. The once fragmented remnants of humanity found unity in their shared triumph. Damien addressed the surviving fleet from the bridge of the Erebus. "Today, we prove that humanity is not defeated," he said, his voice carrying the weight of their struggle. "We're not just survivors. We're fighters. And as long as we have breath, we will never stop resisting." Cheers erupted across the fleet. The spark of hope had been reignited. Though the Zirid remained a formidable threat, their empire was weakened. Humanity's victory at Aurora Station became a rallying cry for other species oppressed by the Zirid. Alliances were formed, and the seeds of a galactic coalition were sown. Damien and the Erebus became legends, their exploits inspiring future generations. As the fleet prepared for the battles ahead, one thing was certain: humanity's story was far from over. And among the stars, the Starlight Resistance burned bright, a testament to the unyielding spirit of Earth's last defenders.